time as well. There's the plane. You can't miss that.
Holy shit! Holy shit!
Well, it's hard to quarrel with the expletive. You know, we have seen this now. We have seen this, honestly, dozens of times, and it's no less powerful and no less sickening to see it again. Again, let's just look at this scene. This is amateur video, the plane coming, and now no words, no reason.
I think we all have struggled today with a way to define just the impact of what was witnessed here in New York. As you know, Aaron, this is 30 blocks away. As you know, the city is in a state of paralysis at the moment, although I am told that some of the bridges now are beginning to be opened up for outbound traffic. But at a point in the city today when people were trying to be evacuated from the south end of New York City, it was extremely difficult. You were up here and I was down on the street watching tens of thousands of people making their way on foot to get out of the city. Now, one of the things that we've witnessed within the last hour was the collapse of Tower Number 7, which is part of the World Trade Center complex as well. As you know, Aaron, because you've been reporting this all day, this has been on fire most of the day. This was expected to happen. 47 stories, not nearly as big as the two towers which once stood behind us, but no small building with 47 stories. Now, from what we're hearing on the street, rescue workers are still having a very difficult time getting into the perimeter area surrounding this site because of falling debris. City officials still cannot confirm for us at this point how many people have been injured, how many people have been killed. Just before I got on the air, I spoke with someone from the department that deals with rescue operations for the city. This is all speculation on his part, but he has reasonably good information from area hospitals. He suspects those numbers could rise into the thousands. So, Aaron, we're going to leave you right now, and we're going to check back in with Bill Hemmer, who joins us now from Atlanta with another part of the story. Bill?
Paula, Aaron, thank you. I'm Bill Hemmer, live in Atlanta, continuing CNN's coverage of America Under Attack. Some 9 hours now after terrorists hijacked airliners and crashed them into U.S. buildings. Some kind of attack, as we mentioned, was taking place in Afghanistan, but a Wolf Blitzer was reporting there. As we see the videotape by way of video phone in Kabul, Afghanistan's capital, Ari Fleischer with the White House indicates this is not a retaliatory strike. However, this appears to be the ongoing civil war battle that's taking place in Afghanistan. Also, reporters traveling with President Bush have also been told these explosions, again, not part of that U.S. strike at any country at this time. Earlier, U.S. intelligence officials had told CNN there are good indications that persons linked to fugitive terrorist Osama bin Laden may be responsible for a number of terrorist attacks in the U.S. today. Bin Laden is suspected to be hiding out in Afghanistan, and earlier in Kabul, Afghanistan's foreign minister said his country does not allow Osama bin Laden to use Afghan territory to launch any attack on any government around the world. Now, the explosions again in Afghanistan come as we still await the first official estimates of the casualties on what has been a deadly day of terrorist attacks here in the U.S. Both towers of New York's World Trade Center and a section of the Pentagon were destroyed when hijacked airliners were deliberately crashed into buildings there. Rescue officials predict that hundreds, if not thousands, have died in today's attacks. One tower of the World Trade Center was hit at 8:48 a.m. East Coast time this morning. Officials believe it was hit by an American Airlines Boeing 767 flying from Boston to L.A. The hijacked plane, Flight 11, had 81 passengers, 9 crew members, and 2 pilots on board. About 18 minutes later, as emergency crews were rushing to the scene, a second airliner flew into the other tower, the World Trade Center. Officials believe this hijacked plane was United Airlines Flight 175, again from Boston to L.A., with 56 passengers on board, 2 pilots, and 7 crew members. About 10 a.m. Eastern Time, the South Tower of the World Trade Center collapsed. The administration had ordered all U.S. airports closed. The North Tower of the World Trade Center collapsed at 10:29 a.m. New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, while not speculating on the final death toll, has told reporters it may be, quote, more than any of us can bear, end quote. Rescue crew is still on the scene. A smaller building, part of the World Trade Center complex, collapsed this afternoon. That's building number 7, part of a larger complex connected to the World Trade Center. The National Guard mobilizing all troops in the New York City area, but New York's tragedy only part of that story. As we look at other parts of the country now, and specifically in Washington, D.C., I'm told Wolf Blitzer now with more information from our nation's capital. Wolf, what do you have for us now?
Bill, right now we're told that Air Force One has landed at nearby Andrews Air Force Base just outside of Washington in Maryland. The President's Air Force One being escorted in by 3 fighter jets, 2 F-15s, 1 F-16. Close by, very often there are some Air Force jets who go up to bring down, to help escort Air Force One down. But this time these planes, we're told, the fighter jets were much closer to Air Force One. The President will be returning to the White House to address the nation later this evening around 9 p.m. Eastern. But in advance of that, several briefings were standing by. We're waiting for a congressional briefing that will occur, the congressional leadership, around 7:30 p.m. Eastern. There will be a briefing from the Attorney General, John Ashcroft, over at the White House. We're also standing by awaiting a briefing from the Defense Secretary, Donald Rumsfeld. Meanwhile, let's take a look back at some of the sights and sounds of this remarkable day of terror.
I hope I live. It's coming down on me. Here it comes. I'm getting behind a car. It's incredible. Okay, I'm gonna have to go find people who need help, because I don't think I'm one of them. You okay, sir? Okay. Can I just get a toot off your respirator? Can I get a toot? I'm seeing a couple of clean breaths. That's good. Okay. Back to you.
The Pentagon briefing is now underway. Here's the Defense Secretary, Donald Rumsfeld. Unfortunately, we're having some audio problems from the Defense Secretary. We're going to try to fix that. In the meantime, Orrin Hatch is standing by. Senator Hatch, you're a member of the Intelligence Committee. You're not surprised that the bombings that we heard about, the explosions in Kabul, were not the result of U.S. military action?
No, I'm not surprised, because
offering their sympathy and indeed their assistance in various ways. I'm very pleased to be joined here by Chairman Carl Levin and Senator John Warner. Senator Warner called earlier today and offered his support and was kind enough to come down and has been with us. We've very recently had a discussion with the President of the United States. Chairman Hugh Shelton has just landed from Europe. Secretary of the Army, Tom White, who has a responsibility for incidents like this as executive agent for the Department of Defense, is also joining me. It's an indication that the United States government is functioning in the face of this terrible act against our country. I should add that the briefing here is taking place in the Pentagon. The Pentagon's functioning. It'll be in business tomorrow. I know the interest in casualty figures, and all I can say is it's not possible to have solid casualty figures at this time, and the various components are doing roster checks, and we'll have information at some point in the future, and as quickly as it's possible to have it, it will certainly be made available to each of you. I'll be happy to take a few questions after asking First General Shelton if he would like to say anything, and then we will allow the others to make a remark or two.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Ladies and gentlemen, as the Secretary just said, today we have watched the tragedy of an outrageous act of barbaric terrorism carried out by fanatics against both civilians and military people. Acts that have killed and maimed many innocent and decent citizens of our country. I extend my condolences to the entire Department of Defense families, military and civilian,